So, when the timing is not right, God says slow. When you are not right, God says grow. But when the request is right and the timing is right and you are right, God says go. James, I think it's James chapter 3 or 4, it says something along the lines of, you have not because you ask not. And when you do ask, you ask with the wrong motives, that you might spend it on your selfish desires. What a powerful also verse over there of truth. Absolute truth. So, that's just something to hold on to, which leads to this particular point. One decision can change everything. One decision can change everything. On a day-to-day basis, as young adults, so that's everyone under the age of 100, so we're all good, right? Young adults make plus minus, I think it was 25 to 35,000 decisions on a daily basis. And some of those decisions are absolutely life-changing. Right? Can you imagine 25 to 35,000 decisions on a daily basis? For example, someone deciding to knot their hair, someone deciding to fold their arms, the other deciding to put the glasses back on. So we're making these decisions constantly. Some of them we don't even realize we're busy making them, but some are pivotal moving forward. So I've got a couple of decisions over here that I want to just lay out before you. And then I trust and believe that the Holy Spirit will help you make the right decisions regarding these here. The first one is this: deciding who you will follow in life is a very important decision to make. Because there's a way that it is right to man, but in the end it leads only to death. So deciding who you will follow in life is pivotal. Because whoever you follow in life determines what you will focus on. And when you focus on something, you are then going to draw a particular meaning from that something, which will then determine whatever your action is moving forward. Right? So deciding who you will follow in life is vital. And I love it. Like in the Bible, there are so many examples of where the people of a particular nation are given an opportunity to decide who will you follow. Elijah is one of the guys that gave the nation an opportunity to decide. He said, if you today decide whether you want to follow God, if you want to follow God, then follow. If you believe God is God, then follow God. If you believe that Baal is God, then follow Baal. Joshua is another great example where he calls the people, the nation together, and he says to them, decide who you will follow. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Jesus Christ gives his disciples the opportunity to, and he says to them, follow me. He gave the rich young ruler the same opportunity. You know the whole story of the rich young ruler? Rich young ruler comes to him, very self-righteous, saying that he's fulfilled kind of all these commandments and all these things. And then Jesus said, but you lack this one thing. He's like, what? Because if you read it closely, the story, you'll see that all the commandments that he's sharing that he has fulfilled are all the ones that's talking about love your neighbor. Right? And he said, well, I've done this. And obviously he's a man of status, he's a man of wealth and perceived power and so forth from a worldly perspective. And Jesus says, you lack this one thing, sell all of your things and give it to the poor and then come follow me. And the rich young man went back with a sad heart because he had a great amount of wealth and he couldn't do it. I always think of that story and I think about Gitta. If the rich young ruler had given all that wealth and given it away to the poor and been obedient to Jesus Christ, I would have believed that that guy probably would have been like a trillionaire back then. Because the amount that you receive back, like God will never ask you to give up something that he will not supply 100-fold in return. Because why? Part of his nature is he is a giver. That's who he is. He doesn't try just to be a giver on a Sunday when the offering basket busy passes people. It's who he is. It's his nature to give. For God so loved the world that he did what? He gave. Right? So the whole story over there of the rich young ruler, he gives him also an opportunity, but the guy couldn't do it because he wanted to follow something else. So deciding who you will follow is ideal. And I'll be the first to say that sometimes following Christ is not the easiest road to take, but it's the best road you can possibly take. It's like, for example, if I want, and I would assume it's the same for everyone here, if I want freedom if I want joy, if I want peace, if I want righteousness, if I want purpose, if I want love, if I want belonging, if I want acceptance, if I want genuine relationship, if I say I want those things, there's actually a road that you take to get there. It's like, for example, if I want to travel from here to Cape Town, I'm not going to drive via Polokwane to get there. Like, imagine I come to you and like, hey, listen, I've got this huge plan. I want to go to Cape Town, right? But I'm going to drive to Polokwane to get there. That's a dumb plan, because there's an easier road to take. You go that way. If I want to go to Durban, it doesn't help I drive to Polokwane. I need to go to Durban. There's a particular road that I take to get there. Let me put it a bit differently. If I want a Big Mac hamburger, it doesn't help I go to KFC and I go stand there and I'm like, hey guys, may I please have a Big Mac hamburger, extra large fries or whatever, and a big Sprite. Can I please have that? Like, we don't serve that here. So if I want a Big Mac, I need to go to a particular place. If I want a Streetwise 2, I need to go to a particular place. If I want a Whopper, I need to go to a Burger King. Right? If I want a pizza, I need to go to a pizza place. If I want drugs, I must go to a pastor. I have to go to a drug dealer. If I want to go have alcohol, I need to go to a shebeen, club, bar, whatever. Alright? If I want life, the road to life is Jesus, because He is life. That's the road that you take. If you want freedom, that's the way you go. Right? But if you want destruction, if you want death, if you want decay, if you want huge abandonment, if you want lies, if you want that, I can also show you there's a particular road that you take to get that. And that's the way of the enemy. That's the wide road. But if you want the freedom that you claim you want, if you want the acceptance you claim you want, if you want the belonging you claim you want, there's a road that you take. And by the way, it's simplified. There's only one road.